I have another children's story for you guys. It is called Prayer, and it is about this boy named Andrew who is very worried about his friend Peter, who is in prison. Guys, I wonder what happens to Andrew. I wonder what happens to Peter. Let's find out. Today's story is called Prayer. Andrew was very worried. His Christian friend Peter had been taken to prison by orders of King Herod. His trial was to be the next day. The boy thought about all the things that he could be sentenced to. Banishment, more prison time, death. She shook his head, trying to get rid of all those bad thoughts. God wouldn't let Peter be executed. Would he? Guys, we all know at some point that we are all going to die. But do you guys ever question God like that? Maybe in a different way? God wouldn't let the other thing win. Would he? Well, guys, sometimes it's yes. Sometimes it's no. Let's see what this answer is. His father suddenly burst into his room and said, Andrew, we must ask everyone to pray for Peter. Now wait, guys. To pray for Peter? What would you do if your friend was in prison? Would you pray? Would you try to break into the prison and try to free him? What would you do? Andrew stood up and followed his father with his mother behind him out of the house. Andrew, take this list and go to every house and ask everyone to pray for Peter. Have you guys ever heard there's strength in numbers? It also goes for prayer. The more people who pray, the better. Andrew nodded, took the list from his father, and ran down the street. He told the fishermen, his friends, his parents' friends, members of the church, storekeepers, tax collectors, strangers, everyone in every house on the list. Most people, he told, already knew about Peter and were earnestly praying for him. When he had finished the list, he ran back home. His legs were aching and he was exhausted. Guys, are you guys in Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or something like that? Have you ever been to house to house selling something or asking people to go somewhere? Does it hurt your legs? Do you end up exhausted at the end of the day from doing that? Well, Andrew really was. His parents were already there waiting for him. Andrew went straight to his room and wanted to go directly to sleep. But he remembered to pray for Father in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Guys, our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name is the first part of a very famous prayer. My challenge to you guys is to find that prayer and the verse and see if you can memorize the whole prayer. Our friend Peter is in prison and his trial is tomorrow. Please save his life. Please free him. Amen. He prayed and Andrew went right to sleep. In the middle of the night, Andrew heard knocking on the front door. Who could that be at this hour? Andrew thought as he heard his parents open the door and scream. What would you do if you heard knocking in the middle of the night? Would you be scared? Would you think that it was weird? Would you be suspicious? Would you just go back to bed? Would you not even hear the knock because you're such a deep sleeper? What if your parents screamed when they opened the door? What would you do? Would you run downstairs? Would you stay in bed and hide under the covers? Would you still be sleeping because you're in a deep sleep? I'm not even sure what I would do. Andrew immediately sat up. Then he heard his parents laughing and crying, so he stood up and opened his room door. He saw Peter standing right in front of him. Guys, what would you think of that? Your friend who was in prison came to your house? What would you think? I would have braced them for a long time. I think so. What would you do? Would you laugh and cry and scream and all those things that their parents did? I don't think that his parents screamed a sad scream, like a scared scream. I think they screamed a happy scream. Andrew ran up and hugged his friend, just like I would do. Then Andrew let go of Peter and asked him, "How did you escape?" Guys, this is probably the first question I would ask to my friends after I realized that he was there, made sure he was actually there and it's not like a trick or something. And he said, "An angel of the Lord came and released me from my chains and led me out of the prison while the guards were fast asleep. I thought this was a vision, but here I am." I would have thought that was a vision if I saw my friend from prison. I would have thought I was just dreaming and that wasn't all real. Thank you all for praying for me. Now I must go. I know Herod will be looking for me. Keep strong and keep praying. Andrew never forgot about his friend Peter or the story of the angel freeing him. He told everyone about his story and how prayer saved his friend's life. Guys, my mom actually wrote a book called Prayer Saved My Life. I almost forgot it for a second. And I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of stories about how prayer has saved your life and how important prayer is. And prayer is very important. So guys, always pray for your loved ones. Always pray for those you don't even like. Pray for those you hate. Guys, I hope you can actually get a chance to read the real story of Peter being freed. I believe it's in Acts 12. Acts 12. Guys, please go check it out and read the real story. It is an amazing story. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this story. Remember to check out some of our other videos. And sadly, I have to say goodbye.